Hello everyone, it's time for another part of playthrough from Gran Turismo 4. And today, another interesting episode because after all those difficult events, including GT World Championship, finally it's time to try out those rally events. So for the first Italian rally track, I might take this Mazda RX-8 concept from 2001 Tokyo Motor Show, because Type 1 was actually shown in Detroit. Okay, the oil is changed. So I might as well also buy myself another set of rims, like those made by Polyphony Digital themselves. And why not? Rear wing, because I can actually tune up this car a bit. Despite the fact that this is an easy difficulty, in Gran Turismo there's no such thing as not too many upgrades. Sometimes you can just cheese your way to win by actually making a properly tuned car and actually use it for rather simple events, championship, etc. I might just buy a cheap turbo kit just to make sure that I can push this car, let's just say, fast enough through those tracks that I have in this game. Because rally events in this particular game works a bit different than in Gran Turismo 2 and Gran Turismo 3, because we don't have one track, all three difficulties. In this game we have something else. We have rally events. That means I need to pass all rally tracks on easy difficulty before I can move on to the same scheme but with normal difficulty, and after that I have hard difficulty. So yeah, a very interesting scheme, I might add, but it's not such a big problem because I can still easily win this set of events. And also we have a nice list, because the first rally I can pass, that's why I chose a road car, is because of the fact that I have Città d'Aria, Rally di Umbria. I always mispronounced it. It was Città d'Aria rather than Città d'Aria, but you know. Anyway, it's an Italian street course in Assisi. This particular big city with tight roads and let's just say it's some kind of a city that was placed in a higher area. I don't know how to properly explain it. It's a nice rally track though. Tight roads, typical for few French and Italian old cities. And also what I like about this particular game is that, well, in real life, those roads and streets of Assisi are much tighter, because as you can see we don't have any cars placed. Other cars parked anywhere. That helps a lot. In real life this particular track would not be such a breeze, to be precise. But yeah, I have a nice challenge, or rather just a casual rally race, because I am using a tuned up Mazda RX-8 concept from 2001, and my opponent is a Renault 5 R5 to be precise. It was Renault 5 turbo, so possibly somewhere around 150 to 180 brake horsepower as much as I remember. So yeah, a nice set of events. All I have to do is to drive properly, cautiously, and I can win all those races without any problems. So 2 laps each, all tracks, normal and reversed version, and it's all good. So it's only a matter of not making any big mistakes, so I can easily win those challenges, which I honestly think on easy difficulty might not be a big problem at all, even if we consider all those snow tracks, and there's also a Tsukuba circuit in wet condition. So yeah, while we don't have, for example, special Stage Road 5 from Gran Turismo 3, which is a shame, because that track was much better than Tsukuba in rain. Such a shame also is the fact that we don't have more tracks set in rain until Gran Turismo 5. It looks more like an Easter egg, this specific rainy racetrack. But what can I say? And it's all done. First race. So after this particular casual race rally, it's time for a reverse version, and after that I can take home a nice prize car. After that, iconic Capri Rally, known from the fact that we have not only Amalfi Coast, but this track is fictional in this game, but also the iconic prize car. Yeah, that's how it works in Gran Turismo, I guess. So I have reversed version right now. Again, my opponent is Renault 5 Turbo from the 80s. So again, I have 2 laps and an easy opponent, which means I can just drive fast, not make any mistakes, and I am in a good situation. I can take home a perfect prize car. So it's all good. Let's just overtake this opponent, and then all I can do is focus on driving fast and winning this particular race. No pressure. Also, I can just push him off the road, because in rally events, if I crash into an opponent, I can get a penalty. 5 seconds, I need to slow down, and then I can catch up to him. That's a good thing I actually bought nitrous oxide, because right now I can just try to overtake him over here, or on this particular long straight. Let's see. This is the only problem I have on this particular track. It's tight, it's twisty, it's difficult. You need to be cautious, in order to win this challenge. On hard difficulty I might have even more problems, but honestly, I don't care so much about that. Right now I have easy difficulty to pass before I can move on to other rallies. So yeah, I overtook him. Now it's only a matter of winning this particular race and not crashing into anything else. It's all good. Need to slow down over here because of this rather tricky area. And it's all good. Umbria Rally in Assisi is over. So now, let's check the price car I can afford thanks to this particular rally. And the price car for Umbria Rally is a concept car, but not any concept car. The Cadillac CN with almost 800 horsepower. So I might just take it for a spin. Why not? It might be some good fun. So let's take this car. I could buy some upgrades, but one thing I actually bother myself with always when it comes to those cars, supercars and fast concept cars, is the fact that we don't have racing tires, rather sports ones. So now I can change oil after buying racing tires, and there's a possibility I might actually buy some more upgrades, but it doesn't make any sense right now, to be precise. So let's check it out. Costa di Amalfi Capri Rally 2004 on fictional but still breathtaking rally track. Honestly, this is it's supposed to be placed on Amalfi Coast, this iconic coast that is placed, if I'm not mistaken, in Sicily. But yeah, an interesting rally track. Such an easy challenge. I can just try out this Cadillac Sienne, drive fast enough. There are some bumpy roads, small jumps like over here, etc. So I need to be cautious, but after passing this opponent, all I can do is focus on driving properly all the way to the finish line, obviously. So an easy challenge. And it's a very nice concept car because I haven't bought any upgrades for this particular vehicle and I got a huge lead distance. I actually ran away from my opponent. This is fun. So after this particular race, it's again time for a reversed version, like with other rally tracks we have in this game. So after a normal version, I have reversed second version of this particular track. But this time I have another Lancia Delta Chef, a different color to be precise. So those rally events on easy difficulty are not only easy. If you don't have a fast car, but you want to actually try out those rally events, just in case something like that ever happens, you're good to go. I actually had some problems, but again, this is an easy difficulty, so no big problems right now. And it's great. I can just run away from my opponent and win on the first place again. Okay, I had some small mistakes here and there, but I could care less because this is an easy difficulty. If it was a strong competition, I have a feeling that I might actually say some more stuff about it, but don't want to because I don't need. So, let's take the iconic prize car, which I can possibly sell because this is Toyota RSC Rally Raid car. To be honest, it's something like a Dakar Pikes Peak edition of rally car that would be made out of a concept car because this is a fictional vehicle. I mean, the Rally Edition, this car actually is a concept car, but I haven't even saw a Rally Edition. Might as well just take it for a spin instead of selling it, because why not? If this car is worth that much money, I might as well use it for at least few rally events, just in case, before I can then sell it. Because, to be precise, I might as well just grind my way into, for example, buying those secret stealth Le Mans 24 hours cars. You know, those black stealth models. But I don't care about that much. During this playthrough I might just have a chance to buy one, two, maybe if I'm lucky, all four cars. But I don't care. The biggest problem also I have about this game is the fact that while we can unlock rally cars, unlike Gran Turismo 3, something went wrong and I can't just participate in all those events until I buy actually dirt tires and snow tires. I just need to say that this game was delayed by a whole year because it was supposed to be made in late 2003, but then they had an idea, for example, to make Nürburgring Nordschleife and few other tracks, some enhancements and some more cars. So yeah, whatever, it happens. Some games were made that way. And yeah, professional racing also had its own specific characteristics. So, despite having an easy opponent, it's another Toyota, but despite the fact that this is an old Toyota Celica, I am racing actually on a dirt track with completely different driving physics than in Gran Turismo 3 Concept and GT4 Prologue even. So yeah, it's a completely different level. Those rally cars drive completely different even than in European Gran Turismo 4 Prologue, which actually had, let's just say, physics enhancements. So yeah, it happens like that. But this is not such a big problem. I can still win this particular challenge without any problems. So might as well just get used after many years to those driving physics. Okay, I had to focus properly on passing this particular challenge because the biggest challenge in those rally events, especially in Gran Turismo 4, is not the starting grid and opponents I have on those tracks, but those circuits themselves. So I had a chance to acquire 5000 credits, and it's time for a worst variant, which is a bit more difficult. It's like bike speed downhill, uphill, because on this particular version I have more, let's just say, blind sections, hairpins, etc. Also, I have a different opponent, again, Lancia Delta HF Integrale instead of Toyota Celica. So this is a nice race right now. I can, as fast as it's possible, overtake this opponent, and after all of this, I just need to properly adjust my driving style to this terrain, bumps, etc. It's not gonna be pretty, but let's be honest. I actually had many chances to check out Grand Canyon in Gran Turismo 4 Prologue, and actually even had a chance to check it out in some, let's just say, late Gran Turismo concept demos, and or, I mean, the Gran Turismo concept demo and iconic Gran Turismo 4 pre-release demo, because Polyphony Digital, despite being a bunch of perfectionists, especially today, but those 20 years ago it was the same story. Actually, some of the demos that you could see earlier had many beta assets, which is a good thing because you can actually, despite having unfinished circuits and tracks, you can actually see how much work by that time was in progress, which is also a good thing, because thanks to that you have, for example, Gran Turismo 3 concept overhaul mode. Yeah, a small commercial for anyone who actually got to this point, but why not? This particular mode also makes Gran Turismo 3 a better game because it have much more tracks, many various circuits, I mean, cars, etc. And also I had a chance to actually properly check out this track some years ago in Gran Turismo 4, but also in Gran Turismo 4 Prologue and some early Gran Turismo 4 Prologue demos. So yeah. Alright, so another challenge is actually done. No problems. It looks like this easy difficulty is something a bit like, uh, I don't know, like driving school, training, something like that. It's too easy in Gran Turismo 4 if you have proper cars. Even if you don't have proper cars, you're, for example, starting the whole game, you passed all required license tests, have starter car. If you have a good starter car, you can actually, after Sunday Cup or something else in Beginner Lake, or actually don't even pass any events in Beginner Lake, you can actually uh, try out those races. So, also, I acquired a Ford RS200, but now it's time for a much more difficult rally event. Not only because this is a snow circuit, but because it's small and tight ice arena, which means this track is difficult. I have to properly pass over my opponent, overtake him, and then I need to properly adjust my car for all those corners, hairpins, etc. to properly drive on this particular circuit, not crash into anything, and also, which is very important, especially if you have, for example, normal or actually hard difficulty, you need to not only adjust your car, but actually make some proper, adjustments, not only because of the driving style, but actually proper adjustments for suspension, gear ratio, all of that stuff. It's very important. It's very important because if you make one tiny mistake on hard difficulty, this particular event might need to be, let's just say, replayed. Simply replayed. You just need to try it again. Better. So yeah. It's actually a good thing, though, that I can still drive fast, but also, beside of that, I can actually, which is a bit hilarious for me, despite the fact that I am playing many. I've played a lot racing games in my whole life, not only for this channel, but also during my childhood. I had actually various experiences with various racing games. You can just feel the car in this game. It's still not the same level as Enthusia Professional Racing, but still. Gran Turismo 4 is good. Very good in that. So, I acquired another prize, 5,000 again. This would be my prize for this whole episode, honestly, because for each race on easy difficulty you get 5,000, on normal difficulty you get 10,000, but for hard difficulty it pays off because you can acquire $20,000 credits for each challenge on each track. So you can just pass all events, and despite all those prize cars you can actually acquire 40,000 credits for almost all events, because you also have Tsukuba wet race in rainy condition, which is only one track because it doesn't have a reversed version. But yes, it works like that. So basically I have another challenge, this time reversed version, and it's all. All that I have to do is just drive fast. I'm actually right now racing with slow, old, but still a rally car. Good old Mitsubishi Lancer from the 70s. And that's a very interesting car, to be precise, especially for easy difficulty. It's a good thing I have this Toyota RSC rally car. Alright, was not very difficult one. Maybe because it's still an easy difficulty. On normal and hard difficulty, this might be a pain in the ass. But I've made it without any major problems, and that's a good thing. So, another 5,000 for me, please. And also, I bet an interesting prize car can be acquired by passing Whistler Ice Race, because this is how this particular event is called. Not only I acquired road version of my favorite, honestly, Toyota RSC, it's also a black one, which is even better because, I can't say those are goth vibes. I'm not especially a goth. So, I have a strange feeling I might as well check out this car. Wrecked Sports Coupe. Toyota RSC, the black one, road version that I can change into another rally raid car but my own, with my own adjustments, etc. So let's check it out on easy difficulty. I need to acquire some proper car parts, and after this I am well. So, obviously, as always, I need to dispose of useless waves of my car. This is not very important. Now, racing muffler, because more power. Nope. Any tune-ups in this particular part of series are very bad. In Gran Turismo 3, even with NA tune-ups, you can actually make a really fast and dangerous car out of your vehicle. I guess the better choice is a supercharger. While I am honestly not a big fan of superchargers because of this noise they make, I guess it's still better than any tune-ups if I can't afford a proper turbo for this car. So I guess it'll have to do. Also, obviously, racing clutches, racing flywheels, and I think it's alright. It's good enough that I can pass the next event, and I can honestly say this next event is brutally easy. Despite this track being a snowy one, it does not have very tight corners. It's still difficult sometimes, but it's not a big pain in the butt. Chamonix, which is interesting because in Gran Turismo 4 Prologue, this particular track was probably supposed to be a snowy rally circuit placed in Nürburgring. Yes, I've said it. Because in game files it is called Nursnow, so I guess before they made proper Chamonix placed somewhere near Mont Blanc, because this is Chamonix obviously, they back then had an idea to make not only Nürburgring or Schleife in late 2003, that's why for example this game was delayed also, but they actually made a bit of a concept for a German snow track. Obviously, a German snow track is what we have in Enthusia Professional Racing, but that's a different story. So again, I have also 2 laps, nitrous oxide supercharger, and a very fast sports coupe that might just easily win this particular challenge. Not only because of a slow opponent, but also because of the fact that this track is not the most difficult one in this game. Alright, it's all fine and dandy because I passed another race on easy difficulty. Another race on a rally track from Gran Turismo 4. Again, I acquired 5,000 credits and now it's time for a reverse second version of this particular track. So, Samonik is a very interesting track, but is the reversed version much more difficult than the normal one? I guess it's a good time to find out about it. Another opponent I have. Again, Lancia Delta HF. Right now I am honestly curious how many opponents are there on normal and hard difficulty. Because to be honest, I have a feeling that too often I have Lancia Delta HF Integrale, not even Renault R5 Toyota Celica road version. Sometimes there is a chance that those old slow Japanese rally cars like Nissan Bluebird and Mitsubishi Lancer 1600 GSR from early 70s might show up. But over here it's another battle with ironically the white Lancia Delta HF Integrale on a snow track. Whatever, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Right now I am a bit amused because I thought that Chamonix is not the most difficult track on easy difficulty because Tsukuba wet race have much faster opponents in rainy conditions. But right now, Toyota RC and Lancia Delta I had only 7 seconds of lead distance, which is strange on easy difficulty. Very strange. But whatever, at least I've made it. Time to take another prize car home and get to the next rally event. And this time I acquired another, let's just say, a concept of this time an SUV, Infiniti FX45. I might as well check out also this Paris rally track, my favorite, George V in Paris. I actually had a chance to check out, let's just say, this particular area of Paris, not only in real life, despite having some, let's just say, at least one family member I had from there, or over there, some time ago, many years ago. I actually had a chance to actually check out Paris, maybe not in real life, but in various racing games. And I can honestly say that George V Paris, this particular rally track in Gran Turismo 4, in some ways is the most realistic is one of the most realistic circuits. I guess in some ways even Ruth de la Seine from Enthusia Professional Racing was not as much realistic as this particular track. But maybe that's also because Enthusia Professional Racing actually had tracks inspired. Circuits were more inspired by those areas rather than, let's just say, properly cloned. I mean, I'm saying this about those fictional, original enthusiast circuits. Not sure about city circuits, but I haven't felt the same experience like in Gran Turismo 4. Because you have George V Paris, George V Street, if I'm not mistaken, near this iconic Arc de Triomphe. I can't properly pronounce this because French language is something else for me. I'm from a completely different side of Europe, as you might know, actually. Or anyway, some of you. So yeah, but this particular track is an interesting one. And I like this. Also, Paris set at night. Magnificent. Alright, so this particular race was not such a big problem, but I can assure you that the reversed version of this particular track might be a bit more difficult. So be prepared. Despite the fact that on this particular version, this Toyota Celica was not giving me any difficulties. The reverse version is something else because you need to properly adjust your driving style in the other direction. So few corners that might look like you can actually take them fast enough are the complete opposite. So it's time for the second B variant of Paris Rally Track, George V Street near Arc de Triomphe. Another challenge with Toyota Celica, a road one. Celica ST from 80s. Interesting. As I said earlier, this particular track in reverse version is completely different. Alright, despite some, let's just say, minor objections, because I thought that this track might be a bit more difficult. I guess it's still an easy difficulty, and I actually drove fast enough. This particular track was not a big challenge for me. I mean, not because of opponents, obviously, but because of how this uh, track structure works like. So, I acquired again 5000 credits, and I need to check out the next prize car I can get thanks to this particular rally event. And the prize car is a nice French car because it's Renault Alpine A310 with 1.6 engine, which, if I'm not mistaken, have somewhere around 140 brake horsepower. So those are all the events also that I have to pass in this particular episode. So I have a good feeling about buying something like Subaru Impreza, Mitsubishi Lancer, or something like that. Actually, I might as well, for example, check out this or this car, yes. Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 7, ironically GTA. That means it's a similar car to Evolution 7 GSR, but this is equipped with automatic transmission. I thought, why not? I always felt that this particular Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 7 was something revolutionary, because having automatic transmission in a fast sports car, which actually was a big success in rally motorsport. Imagine, for example, having Subaru Impreza with automatic transmission. I'm not saying about Ford Focus, for example, or Hyundai Accent, because if I'm not mistaken, I actually had the chance to at least once drive one of these cars in real life many years ago. You know, random situations. So I can, despite the fact that this car have automatic transmission, so you know, automatic transmission is an interesting one, because if I could have manual transmission in this particular Mitsubishi Lancer, I have a feeling this would be, in some cases, be a nice anti-theft tactic in America. Yes, I am making jokes about America not because I am from Eastern Europe, but maybe because of the fact that while we also have our, let's just say, hilarious laws and stereotypes, we can still have fun instead of suing anyone or having, let's just say, strange political views, whatever. This is not the episode for this, so I acquired all needed upgrades. The only thing I have to do obviously is change oil, because power boost, some extra brake horsepower for my beautiful Mitsubishi Lancer with automatic transmission. This is what I need. Alright, so it's all good. Now I can check out the next event. I have only 5 events left, so the first one is my favorite, because it's iconic Swiss Alps. Yes, I know, and that's a good trivia for some GT fans. Swiss Alps was made on assets from Smoky Mountain South from Gran Turismo 2. It's almost the same track as Smoky Mountain South or Green Forest Roadway. And also I have another nice trivia. I am racing with iconic Audi Quattro. If I'm not mistaken, that was type 85. Yes, type 85 from early 80s, while Group B was still a big part of motorsport instead of, let's just say, a rally group responsible for many accidents, and also I might as well just say it, manslaughters, because Group B was too fast for rally in the 80s, while the rally laws were completely different, where fans and random bystanders were too close to the rally stage. But that's a different story also. If you look right here to the left, this is the road to Smoky Mountain South from Gran Turismo 2. So yeah, Despite Polyphony Digital being a big group of Japanese perfectionists, they actually made another track out of the older one. And it's an interesting thing because they actually started this when they made Gran Turismo 3, because early demos still had Smoky Mountain South back then, before it was in 2001 changed into Swiss Alps, because, well, let's just say it was another track rather than another version of already existing track like Smoky Mountain, which sadly after Gran Turismo 3 only came back as a hidden circuit in Gran Turismo PSP and Gran Turismo 5, which is a shame because Smoky Mountain was a big challenge. So yet another commercial. Check out Gran Turismo 3 concept overhaul mode. It's still, by this time, it's still the prototype build, but you can actually experience not only tracks like Smoky Mountain, Rome Circuit, Tahiti Circuit, but also Beta GT4 tracks like Hong Kong, George V, Paris, and also the iconic Tsukuba Circuit and Fuji Speedway. Behind the wheel of various cars that were also available in Gran Turismo Concept and early demos of Gran Turismo 4, back when they didn't make proper changes between Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4, because you can't actually take tracks from Gran Turismo 4 like Nürburgring or Schleife and put them to Gran Turismo 3 without data errors. Yes. I also won by this time another challenge. Got 5,000 credits, so now it's time for, again, a reversed version. So now I have Swiss Alps, but this time it's a reverse version. And I also have, finally, a faster opponent, because right now I am racing against Subaru Impreza WRX. Despite the fact that this is a second version from yet early 90s, or mid 90s to be precise, yes, this car have 250 horsepower, 2-liter engine equipped with turbo kit. Still, it got 250 horsepower, while for example Lancia Delta or Toyota Celica had, when it comes to road versions, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 200 up to 220 brake horsepower, which is a bit less than this particular Subaru Impreza. One thing I can say still is that I remember from many years ago that Tsukuba Wet Circuit, which will be soon in this particular episode, have much faster opponents, so on hard difficulty I might have a proper challenge. After all those Group B challenges on hard difficulty, I have 5 laps, Group B cars like Peugeot 205, Turbo 16, possibly even Evo 2, which had over 400 horsepower, and power wave ratio was somewhere around 2.2. But yeah, that's how it works. At least I have a bit faster opponents, so if I would not have so much experience on this particular track, I have a feeling that this particular race would be much more difficult, actually. Alright, so despite the fact that this particular opponent was a bit faster, I still managed to win this race without any problems. A newer Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 7 GTA with automatic transmission but tuned, won with stock Subaru Impreza VRX from mid-90s. And because it was a reverse version, I acquired yet another prize car for my collection, which is Mitsubishi CZ3 Tarmac, which is something like a concept car which later turned into a slower and, let's just say, more basic Mitsubishi Colt. But still, this 1.5 liter engine in this concept car might be a better choice because of power output. After all of this, I have Tour de Tahiti, and I also unlocked another racetrack, Le Mans. Let's check out again this Toyota RSC Rally Raid car, because sadly, Gran Turismo 4 is a different game than Gran Turismo 3. I'm not saying that because of many new tracks, but because Polyphony Digital decided to dispose of old tracks to make proper changes. You know, like evolution of racing games. So the only Tour de Tahiti we have in this game is only Tahiti Maze, because Tahiti Circuit was abandoned. If I'm not mistaken, forever, because I haven't besides of leftovers in Gran Turismo PSP and possibly Gran Turismo 5, I haven't also seen this particular rally track again, just like Smoky Mountain North, seen in Gran Turismo 2 and Gran Turismo 3, despite also Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo PSP, but that's a different story again. So again, I have another type of challenge where the track and those driving physics in Gran Turismo 4 are, let's just say, more difficult than my opponent himself. Okay, I guess I just have to focus on driving properly so I can easily win this particular rally. Alright, it's yet another rally stage, or rather rally circuit. That was not a very difficult one. I passed it without any serious problems. So after the first stage, first rally circuit in this particular Tour de Tahiti, it's time to again check out the reverse version. And honestly, while I was looking into those various changes that were made to Tahiti Maze, I kinda had this feeling that Tahiti Maze in Gran Turismo 3 was better. And I also felt sad that Tahiti Circuit, for example, was abandoned. But yeah, that's just me. It's time for another race. My Toyota RSC rally car against Lancia Delta HF. Or rather, not actually Lancia Delta HF, but against other things like difficult hairpins for drifting techniques, etc. And also those driving physics, I forgot. Driving physics in Gran Turismo 4 are completely different than even in Gran Turismo 2, let alone Gran Turismo 3. So yeah, I guess my opponent, which is a driver of Lancia Delta, is not a problem at all. Alright, so I actually managed to pass this particular event without any problems. So now I just need to take another prize car to my collection, but also move on to another rally event, which is completely different because after all those Italian rally events and dirt tracks such as Tahiti Maze, snow tracks such as Ice Arena and Chamonix, right now, after taking another prize car, I have Tsukuba Wet Race. It's a good thing that after Tahiti Maze, I acquired Renault R5 Turbo. It's a nice car. I will definitely use it for at least one endurance race later on, probably. But right now, because I have Tsukuba Wet Race, I need to use a proper, fast road or race car. Like, I don't know, perhaps this particular Nissan GTR concept would be a good decision. I'm not sure about that, honestly, because while actually Tsukuba Wet Race have much faster opponents, this is not the only problem in this particular game. Because, as you know, in Gran Turismo games, opponents can also upgrade their cars, which makes this whole experience a completely different one. Luckily, I have another Nissan Skyline GTR, but R34 V-Spec NUR as my opponent, while I am racing behind the wheel of a GTR concept from Tokyo Motor Show, which not only have a better engine, but also nice amount of grip. You can honestly say that Tsukuba Wet Race is something else, also in Gran Turismo 4, because in Gran Turismo 3, those wet physics were completely different, just like probably dirt physics too. Well, the real driving simulator is here. Guess I'll have to do something about it with my GTR concept against road Skyline GTR. Okay, so despite the fact that this particular racetrack is set on rainy conditions, I still had a big chance to win against road version, possibly stock road version of Nissan Skyline GTR. But also the best thing about Tsukuba Wet Race is the fact what kind of a prize car I can get. Besides of obvious 5,000 credits for another rally race on easy difficulty. So, The price car I acquired right now is Mazda X8 Concept Type 1 that was shown on Detroit Motor Show in 2001, before Gran Turismo 3 was made. Yes, because Type 2 and those other cars were not shown in Detroit, but in Tokyo, which is a completely different place. That's why, for example, after Gran Turismo 3, you had Gran Turismo Concept, which had different editions of Nissan for Lady Z, Mazda X8, etc. And also, speaking of concepts, from Gran Turismo Concept, after this particular rainy race, I have only 2 final events to win. And those are interesting ones because it's the iconic Yosemite Rally, known in this game as Cathedral Rocks Trail. We have 2 versions of this particular track. I mean, not only normal and reverse, but also longer and shorter. So yeah, this is the iconic Yosemite Rally, placed near the iconic El Capitan, not far from here, the biggest rock you can actually find. It's also an interesting track because I have this strange feeling that El Capitan and Yosemite, I mean Cathedral Rocks Trail, were made after. This is also an interesting one. Yosemite race track was completely different in 2003, before Gran Turismo 4 was actually properly, let's just say, announced. El Capitan was a completely different track back then. So we have now El Capitan, which is faster and less difficult, and also Cathedral Rocks Trail, which is placed on the inner side, let's just call it that way, on the inner side of this El Capitan racetrack. And that's also a good thing because you have, just like with other tracks from Gran Turismo, possibly also like Smoky Mountain or something else, you actually have here El Capitan, but also a dirt track that was placed in the same area, because Cathedral Rocks Trail first and second are actually placed on the inner side of El Capitan. Alright, so it's all done. I've made it without any problems. And that's a good thing. So, right now I have only reverse version of a longer Cathedral Rocks Trail track, and after that I can move on to the shorter version, the second one, after which I can properly end this part of an episode of a playthrough. Right now I am mostly curious about the fact what price cars I can get out of those particular rally events. Because, being honest, easy difficulty is too easy. You might as well check out those events on normal difficulty sometime later and see if those particular events are, let's just say, a proper challenge, not only because of how those dirt and snow tracks were made, but also because of the fact that I have much stronger and more difficult opponents. And I can honestly say that it's done. Another rally event is done. I acquired again 5,000 of credits, but also I need to check out the prize car I can get after this particular event. So let's see. It's great. Land Rover Range Stormer concept, which later became well known. I have a feeling that I'm not sure that it would be a great rally car for any rally event, but there is a possibility at least that I might check out this car in at least one, during at least one rally event. Right now I need to focus on passing the last rally event, which is again Cathedral Rocks Trail, but this time a shorter one. Much shorter track, still difficult, despite the fact that the opponent again is... My opponent is driving again a Lancia Delta HF Integrale Evoluzione from early 90s. Okay, that's good. I need to focus on driving still rather than looking into my rear mirror. Now this is an interesting track. I'm not sure if this is because of the fact that this is a short dirt track or it's actually a very difficult one, because behind the wheel of that particular Toyota RSC I am still not getting too far away from my opponent. That's interesting. Finally. So now, after all those events, the only thing left over here is the last version, the last challenge on Cathedral Rocks Trail, the second. And after that, I can take some rest and possibly get prepared for the next episode of this particular playthrough, because I still have normal difficulty and hard difficulty, and finally for this specific final challenge I have a different opponent that drives a Renault 5 Turbo. So the only thing I have to do over here is to focus on driving, obviously, through those 2 laps around this particular track, take the last prize car, on easy difficulty I mean, in this particular episode, home, take the cash, 5,000 credits, and it's all done. Fine and dandy. Alright, so finally it's all done. I've passed all races, all rally events on easy difficulty. And that's all I have to do in this particular episode. So let's check out the final prize car, obviously. After that I can finally take some rest. So, the prize car for the final event on easy difficulty is another concept car, Hyundai HCD6 from 2001. Fine, not bad. But that is also the end of this episode, so obviously stay tuned for the next video and have a nice day.